was so out of left field though. Like all of this shit, now you're just gonna cut your dick off? Like you took me on that ride and now we're doing this. Okay. Okay, let's
Yeah,
do this. Okay.
and cut himself open. Like he disemboweled himself because he comes out and like the only way to end because it's all like a mysterious loop, I guess. The only way to end it, like I'm gonna cut my dick off.
Well, like slit your throat.
No,
Put it in your eye. I don't know. I'm not cutting my dick off.
so
Like
the dick is the problem. The dick has to go. Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph,
and I'm Elle.
and this week we're covering the Outwaters, which I recommended to Elle last year, for found footage. But surprise, it's a cosmic horror found footage movie.
I guess.
I mean,
It's
okay,
something.
yeah, okay. I want to start by saying this. Um, I have a horrible memory. If like it's just gotten so bad, um, that if I don't know if it's not one of my like top 10, 15, 20 favorite movies, I have a hard time remembering what the fuck. So, that being said, I was watching this again today, and for the first hour, I was going, why the fuck did I recommend this? I don't like this the way that I liked it the first time. And I was getting really mad at myself. But then something happened towards the end, and I was like, oh, that's why. That's why I recommended it, because it
Mm-hmm.
scared me again. So I want to hear your thoughts.
It does some things very well. It does other things worse than any other movie I've ever watched, and it does even other things annoyingly that piss me off. So let's start with worse than any other movie I've watched. The first thing this brought to mind was Heidi, because they don't know how to fucking cut shit out. I get that it's found footage, but
Oh,
that
yeah.
doesn't mean that I have to watch 3 fucking hours of these idiots being idiots. I don't care. I literally don't care about any of these people, and their stories are incredibly boring. I don't care. I also I one question I do have though. My girl was wearing fake eyelashes into being cut into pieces. Like, how do you do that? Because I can't even wear them through a podcast without tearing those motherfuckers off.
You
They're
need the
so
right
annoying.
glue. You need the right glue, honestly. You need the right glue, and then you need to do that thing where once you stick them to your eyelids, you pinch your eyelids so that like the very top layer sticks to your eyelash line. So they're kind of up and they stay.
Okay. Well, I will give Queen that. She was wearing them until the very bitter end. Um, the gore was interesting and okay. The practical effects were interesting and okay. I as a person with motion sickness, never again will I watch this movie. I watched it once. It's a one off.
I did, though, put a disclaimer
You
about that.
did. You
I
did.
suggested
Yeah,
it.
and a lot of found footage movies are like that. It's not it can be avoided, but they choose not to. The other thing about it though that's even more infuriating to me, if you can't fucking show me something for a very, very long period of time and all you can give me is a motherfucking pinhole, don't bother. Don't bother. I don't want to look through a pinhole. Are you okay?
There's a tornado warning in my area.
What?
I told you it was raining, but I didn't expect a tornado. My honey is a mailman and he's out on the streets right now. I know you're pissed about the pinhole thing, and I get it. But I appreciated the pinhole because, well, honestly, plot-wise, there's not much to talk about because it's these four people, okay? Robbie, who's the main character, Scott's his brother, Angela does the makeup, and Michelle is the singer. She's trying to pay tribute to this lullaby that her deceased mother used to play for her, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to make a music video. Cool. So they go out into the desert and camp. that's I mean, like, that's it. That's shit starts to pop off when they get out there. There's not shit going on in the desert. So, like, I appreciate the pinhole because you are forced to utilize your imagination a lot in this movie. And my imagination can be a terrifying place. However, that being said, if partially I'm making this movie, it should be shorter.
Yes, that's my problem with all of it. The
Yeah,
pinhole would have been interesting and like a different perspective shift if it was used for a shorter period of time. And all that shit at the beginning, like, let's take that down into 15 minutes. That whole first
right.
hour, 15 fucking minutes. I don't understand why these filmmakers can't edit their precious shit. Like, that's the first thing you're taught as a writer is to kill your darlings, to cut things down.
Okay, so here's my thing about the first part of this. Like, this felt real. Like, it really felt like you're looking at your friend's like home video that they, shot of the experience. Like, hey, I got to film a music video. Do you want to see the process? I have a friend I will not name, but his YouTube videos are exactly like that. And
Mm.
so it's just very realistic to me. Yeah, so the realness, but it was very long. And if you're going to like call back, it was important to show Robbie's mom.
Mm.
That like that's the only piece really that's super important. Like they could just do little blips. They were just
Yeah.
doing so much of like us chilling, us getting smashed, us just talking, oh, the trees, you're gonna do more of that later, like flashes of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we could save some time there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really do anything as far as like getting us invested in the characters. I
Mm-mm.
wasn't even really invested in the girl who's doing this thing for her mom. Like, oh, that's sweet. I don't care about you though, and I'm not sorry about it. It's just I just
No.
care. I don't care about you.
It, but Steph, I literally watched 4 different YouTube videos this morning. The first one started with just somebody that was telling me what the fuck was going on because there's no story here and I need a story. That's what a movie's for. A movie's telling me a story. They didn't tell me a story here. Um,
Yeah.
so the first one was just somebody telling me what was going on. And then, but the consensus across the board was edit this. I get that it's found footage, but what I don't like about it, because I like found footage. I like the realness of it. I like the way that it kind of blurs the line between what's fiction and what could be reality, and how you could use folklore to tell like really interesting stories that way. I don't like it as a license to just waste my time. 2 fucking hours nearly. 2 hours. Nothing needs to be 2 hours.
I
Nothing.
agree. I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that.
I'm
Um,
sad.
Yeah, no, I do because I have ADHD, you guys. Like, I can't hold on for that long
And,
all the time. I was definitely doing
yeah.
other things while I was watching it both times.
And as somebody with motion sickness,
Yeah.
I am willing to take it for a while. I am willing, just like for a good video game, I will get myself sick. I've puked over it before. I will do it. But give me something worth it. The sound design on here, though, I will give them that. The sound
Ooh,
design was scary, and that is a way to get at me.
I
Unfortunately, I was too mad.
okay. But see, you guys, I'm talking to you, Robbie. Like, really, you could have had my girl, and I can't remember if I was edibling the first time that I watched this. I can't remember because it's always
Girl.
a different experience for me. I don't know. I wasn't this time though. So like, and also I had just got done finishing my last year chapter, so I was like, let's just fucking get this done, right? So while I was in
No.
that, I don't know why the fuck I like this movie. I'm not really remembering. It's not jogging my memory. I was also thinking, I really feel like some of these movies, you really have to be in a certain mindset
Mm.
to enjoy, and I wasn't there. But then, so I like, I do still like this movie. I do. I do wish it was shorter because knowing that it's 2 hours like bummed me out. And like, it's not something that I'm gonna be able to like enjoy frequently at all because
Mm-mm.
I can't hold on unless you're my fucking favorite. I can't do it. But I really like I love the fucking sounds in here because
Mm-hmm.
that's mostly what you get. And also, do yourself a favor if you ever watch this movie, watch it with captions on, ominous
Yes.
moaning,
Yeah.
tentacles squelching, creatures screaming. That's fucking awesome.
Well,
Like,
here's the other thing. As somebody who actually lives in the desert, I live in the scrub desert. Um, the way that the sound moved from like very feasible sounds, like coyotes make some weird sounds.
they
Okay,
really
so there was
do.
very reasonable, feasible sounds shifting into something that was very unnerving, very uneasy. And I really liked that. Um, there was a lot of things they did right, and also the distortion on the voices as they went was
Uh-huh.
well done. It was not overly done, which was it made it's like that line where they're flirting with what's reality and what's
Well,
fantasy here.
yes, but the thing I think is super interesting about this movie is that they have those elements, but it is found footage. Robbie
Mhm.
has his camera on the entire time, and so I mean, like, it makes a really solid argument that this crazy shit actually happened because it's found footage.
Yeah.
And you can't argue, oh, that's in his brain, because if it's in his brain, we wouldn't be able to see it or hear it. That's
Yeah.
so scary to me. And then the other thing, like those little, you really don't know what the fuck. So like you get
Mhm.
the nighttime view, the little circle of light, people just covered in blood and viscera, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on.
Mhm.
Terrifying. And I can't personally say you won't catch me out there because like we like to travel. Like
But the desert stuff, I'm just gonna put
maybe
my
not
foot down
exactly in
there.
the desert, but mysterious things happen in the woods, like all
Okay,
kinds
yeah.
of things. Freddie and I were just talking about how when we win the lottery, because that's how you manifest your dreams, kids, that, we're gonna have our like homestead, but we also want to have buses where and just take off and travel with the dog and camping spots, and like you never know where you're gonna end up. So as black as I am, I still can never see peak, and it's very clear that this is not like once shit starts popping off, the time is not linear either. So it's just a huge mind fuck. And then you throw in those things that are it's like if tremors and tapeworms had a baby and they're screaming, kill them with fire, but like where did they come from?
Flushing. Yeah.
So the moment that I remembered why I recommended this motherfucking movie is when you have that pinprick of light and there's a monster in the
Mm.
desert, a monster covered in blood, and you can't fully see what it is, and it's making these god awful sounds. I love a terrifying monster.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Scared me.
It also there was like a point where I think he was like shedding skin or something.
He was
And
pulling the fucking skin off. Oh,
I have to say, Star
oh,
Trek reference. It reminded me of an episode of Voyager when they turned into lizards and fucked. And so I was looking for lizard fucking, but we didn't get that. Instead, we got her with her titties out rubbing
dude, I
blood
forgot
on
about
her
the titties.
titties. And then like a
I
worm fucking her, I guess. I don't
I
know.
guarantee you that's what happened. The tentacles were slapping around, she was screaming, and then all of a sudden she was moaning and rubbing her titties. That thing went up inside her, but we didn't have to suffer through it like an Evil Dead.
True. I'll give them that.
Bro, I was like, but in the whole time she's rubbing her titties, I literally was like, dude, stop looking at her titties. Her eyes are up there. And then he panned up, and I was like, never mind, go back to her boobies. She's scaring me. I really like the movie. And then the first time I watched it, I didn't realize that he was looking at himself. There's
Mm.
Robbie and there's Axe Robbie.
And then there's Robbie's brother, and they all look the same. And
Yeah. Who's Scott? Who's Robbie? Bro, I don't know. I don't
I,
fucking know. Without the captions, I
yeah,
wouldn't.
these are white guys. I can't tell them apart. I don't know.
You
So I liked. a good maybe 5 minutes cumulative of this, like all put together. Maybe
Oh,
10. Maybe I stretch it to 10, but it was all in the end. Okay,
yeah.
I'll stretch it to 15 because I was laughing my ass off when he was cutting his dick off. I'm sorry. That
I
was the
wasn't
funny scene.
laughing at that part.
I was laughing.
That's too much. Like,
It was so out of left field though. Like all of this shit, now you're just gonna cut your dick off. Like you took me on that ride and now we're doing this. Okay. Okay, let's
yeah.
do this. Okay.
And cut himself open, like he disemboweled himself because he comes out and like the only way to end, because it's all like a mysterious loop, I guess. The only way to end it, like he sees, oh my
Is to
god, my
die?
heads are on a stick, and I encountered myself with an axe, so it had to be me. I'm gonna cut my dick off.
Well, like slit your throat. I
Nope.
put it in your eye. I don't know. I'm not cutting my dick
Well,
off.
he said
Like
the dick is the problem. The dick has to go. It's the dick. Haven't I always said the problem is in the penis? I was talking about dating, but like relevant.
I'm just like I'm sorry. It was absurd. That's one thing. This movie did absurdity well throughout
Yeah.
because every time you're just like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? What's the point of any of this? What's the meaning of life? I don't know. Don't fucking ask me.
The,
I don't know at this
the
point.
meaning of life is
Cutting your
don't
dick
go
off.
into the desert or you're gonna cut your dick off.
I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy and I'm cutting my dick off. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy and I'm cutting my dick off. I'm
From
sorry.
the lady who brought you HMR, hot mustache ride. You're single. I'm just a guy. Cutting my dick off.
I'm just a guy. I was singing that to myself the entire time I was doing my makeup because it was so absurd. It was so like and I had to watch it in two big chunks because of the motion
Yeah.
sickness thing.
I watched all in
So,
one, which is a mistake. It's a mistake I will never again make.
I if I was to watch this again,
Yeah.
I would put it in like an hour in. I wouldn't watch that first hour again.
No, the first hour is really unnecessary. Okay. Well, like respectfully, because this is someone's art. I'm not gonna say that I don't like this movie, but I will say I've got a shitty memory, and the next time I put this on, I'm going to do the same thing. Why the fuck do I like this movie? And then I'm gonna be like, oh yeah.
I mean, it's someone's art, but like as someone who makes art, all art isn't for everyone. All art isn't, and sometimes things aren't meant for the medium that they're put in. And I really think to an extent that that is the issue here. I think that we have like 15 minutes of really good short film. And then we have a bunch of crap that I would rather yank my eyes out than watching it. I'm sorry. It's just
I liked more than 15 minutes of it, so I really can't.
well, I mean, if we add the dick sequence on at the end, I'll give him 20, 25. The beginning of it was not watchable. I'm just
I will vouch for 45 minutes of this movie. I
I'm not pushing past 25, and that is 100% including all of him stumbling around with his bowels in his hands.
Yeah, I'm not. If I cut myself open, I'm not touching my
I'm
intestines.
not. I don't want to. There's poop in that. I don't want to touch that. What the hell, dude?
Literally, those are poop sausages.
Yes.
I'm
Why
not
are
into.
you caressing your own shit sausages, bro?
Well, he was probably like massively insane at this point. I think that happens because also I was thinking like, how many days have passed? He hasn't consumed any water. He's dying anyway. The
Yeah.
human body can't survive more than
Well,
3 days.
and they hinted at a bunch of different stuff. Like earlier in the film, there was something, and it was like such an offhanded remark too. It's like in your cerebrospinal fluid, there's every
Drugs.
drug that you ever took.
Is
So
that
like
true?
I don't know. I've heard it before, but I've heard it from dipshit, so I don't know if I trust it. Like
Yeah.
literally guys I was in bands with that I would not trust a single thing that they say. Um the other thing is that at one point they say, "Oh, LSD in the desert would be fun." So,
Oh, I get
and
it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. And then there's the whole like the time slip thing, but also that they never run out of battery. And like if you're doing
Thought
this
about
and
that
you're
also.
dry camping and you never run out of battery, either there's some kind of like electrical anomaly that's keeping your batteries charged, like a la Tesla or something. And the inventor, not the shitty car company. But or you are literally have only been out there for 5 minutes and
I genuinely think, because at first I was like, damn, how many days have passed? It's been 2 daytimes. But then I realized, oh no, this is not a linear timeline.
mhm.
It's probably the same daytime. I genuinely think that this was like hours.
It could have been 2 hours.
Yeah, like just hours, like a little, some nighttime and some daytime.
Mm.
And because of the loop, it just seems like it's been days. I genuinely don't think that's possible.
In the scheme of things, in the grand scheme of this podcast, I didn't hate this movie. I was mad at this movie. It pissed me off because it did things that pissed me off. But
Hmm.
I would still say it's a solid three, like three
Yeah.
chuds.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3.5 chuds because I can't give it 4 chuds because I want to. I would if it was shorter. And there was
Yes.
less of the beginning stuff, you know.
I
Um,
might give it 3.5 if you shortened it. Especially like the other thing is you had good practical effects, but like it seemed like what we actually got to see was just slimy people covered in blood.
guts, but it was like not necessarily like blood and guts from a human body.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that poltergeist sludge, like when Carol Ann goes into the the closet portal and she comes
Yeah.
all goopy. That's what it is like. So like
It's like womb blood.
it's like, yes, yeah. And there was a part where I was like, it seems like he's in a womb and
Yeah, there was a part where there was like somebody in like an egg thing. I remember it was just
yeah, it
all
was
so
like flesh,
confusing.
kind of pulsing flesh walls, but it's so dark, like a vagina. But you can't really tell because you can't see a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go into the depths. But the only reason I watched this, like this movie, was on my radar back in my Tinder days. I matched with this guy who is a tattoo artist. He matched with me because I have a podcast. He listened to our podcast, but all he talked to me about was horror movies. So I was like, "Oh, I don't think we are actually into each other, but that's nice that you like listen to my podcast." And he was dying for me to watch this movie,
Mm.
and he hated it because he said it was too artsy fartsy. Shout out to this guy. But I'm just like, I didn't think that. There are some images that I like really enjoy. I think that they probably put a lot of thought into storyboarding. I genuinely feel like there may have been a lot that they cut out and they just really couldn't decide on what else. They needed us in the room to help them.
They hire me. I will edit this. I will make a good edit of it, and then we can do the musical with the dick guy. The my just cut my
Yeah,
dick off guy. Like I
you
feel
can
like
bust hell.
we could do the actual music video, but the music video is the dick song.
The dick song. Every movie needs a dick song.
It does, you know. And I just realized too when we watched this, when I got to the end of this and I saw the dick hit the desert floor, I was like, oh, this reminds me of something. What I didn't mention in VHS because I was too fucked up was there was a scene where cock and balls comes flying and slams onto the hotel carpet, and I was laughing my ass off at that. And that was the one with the weird demon
I
lady, the
like you,
dragon
girl.
lady.
The dragon lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this scene, the guy definitely turns it so he made sure you knew it was a
It was his
dick.
dick, yeah.
Yeah. And I was, oh, thanks. I wasn't sure. My thing about I don't know, I'm just a sucker for the creature reveals. We haven't covered the ritual, but I think that's my favorite with the
Mm.
startling creature reveals. And the thing about the ritual is that I saw the monster before I ever saw the movie, and I was
Mm.
like, "What the fuck is that? What movie is that from?" And immediately had to watch it because what the fuck is that? I'm
Mm.
wondering the same thing about the monster here, but we'll never know.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm okay with it. Because also, I don't think that I know you said you need a story, and I feel like this movie didn't intend to tell a story. It was just like, hey, something
Mm.
happened, and we were in the middle of it, and this is what happened to
Yeah.
me. No beginning or end. Well, the end was the penis. Just no beginning, I guess.
I just need a little bit more, I think. I just need a little bit more. I need a hint. I need a hint so I'm not just like, well, also I kind of get annoyed with these movies that are very scattershot. Like they're hinting at it being aliens, they're hinting at it being a time thing. There's worms, there's animals that are going insane, but also he's probably on LSD. Like I just give me one, give me two maximum, and weave them together in a way that tells me a little bit of an interesting story. And then if you can leave gaps because my brain will make those gaps up. But
Yeah.
you got to give me something so I'm not just like sitting there guessing the whole time.
I normally, me too, but for whatever reason, it doesn't bother me that that's not here. And every now and then it gets me. You know, just like with you, every now and then a story that doesn't have like complete lore, it entertained the fuck out of you. So you're like,
Hmm.
eh, get a pass. This one gets a pass for me.
That's all good. Yeah, mine was like Army of Darkness. That it's like it doesn't make any
No.
fucking sense really, but I like it.
Yep. And that's okay, folks. In the meantime, you can find this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinthemagazine.site. You can follow us on Twitter at GITM Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at WitchXPudding.
And you can find me at Nocturnical.
Okay, bye.